Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakodash. Next, I'd like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. I'd also like to give double honors to the elder high priest men that taught them. Peace, blessings, and salutation unto all the Akim that's pushing this gospel throughout the four corners of the earth in all sincerity and in truth, as well as to those that's presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice. This is the brother Yaradan from the Great Millstone Austin Camp. It's coming back at you with another video. And this video is going to be, going into the 2/3 of the nation of Israel. Because the majority of our people, still to this day, refuse to hearken unto the voice of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Which ultimately the voice of the Heavenly Father is his servants, the prophets. Because as Jeremiah 3:15, it says, "And I will give you pastors according to mine heart, which shall feed you with knowledge and understanding." And those pastors today is going into, the apostles of the Great Millstone on down. They're here to feed us, with the knowledge and understanding of these scriptures. So that way we can, get built up and then go out there and preach the gospel of the kingdom. So this is 1 Samuel chapter 15 verse 23. It says, "For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry." And that's the majority of our people. They're just, rebellion. They love witchcraft, their stubbornness, and they love idolatry. And you see that by, with them, in the music videos, on their day-to-day life, going out there into these harlot houses, these churches, is all, represents or symbolizes idolatry. And ultimately, that's the reason why, we were brought over here, or why we, in the land of our captivity, being ruled by our oppressors. It says, this is Deuteronomy 28:15. It says, "But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee." And seeing this, also goes into the whole house, just not the 2/3, but the whole house of Israel as a whole. We was all once, rebellion, stubbornness, loved idolatry. And again, that's why these curses came upon us. And these curses is still, upon us till this day, due to our disobedience and our transgression towards the Heavenly Father. Us not, keeping these commandments as we said we would. This is Isaiah chapter 30 verse 1. It says, "Woe," which means destruction, "to the rebellious children, saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin." And that's what, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans love. They love adding sin to sin, doing wickedness. That's to that. Again, this is Isaiah 31. It says, "Woe to the rebellious children," which is speaking again of the Israelites. It says, "Saith Yahweh, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with the covering, but not of my spirit." And that's going into, all these different philosophies and doctrines that these people get caught up in. Christianity being the number one thing. But the only, covering that you should have is of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, which is, being occupied within these scriptures. Trying to get the understanding of these scriptures, which is how you seek Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. This is Hosea 4:6. Let's see. Go back to this 1 Samuel 15:23. It says, "For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry." It says, "Because thou hast rejected the word of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, he hath also rejected thee from being king." So this is Hosea chapter 4:6. It says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the law of the Most High, I will also forget thy children." And that's why, again, we see all this judgment being poured out, upon the children of Israel, or the nation of Israel, because our people, they're destroyed for lack of knowledge. They don't want to hear what, the prophets out on the highways and byways that breaking down these scriptures the correct way. They don't want to hear that. They want to go to Esau, Edom, the so-called self-professed white man for all things and try to get the knowledge. But yet, he just, here just to deceive you. Again, it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of the Most High, I will also forget thee. And again, there's going to come a time where, that the prophet is going to be taken off the highways and byways, and people are going to be trying to seek the Lord and cry out, but he's not going to hear them. Why? Because they rejected, the words. They rejected this grace period. When they had time to get right with the Lord, they despised it. This is Zechariah chapter 7, and I do verse 11. It says, but they refused to hearken and pulled away the shoulder and stopped their ears that they should hear. Yea, they made their hearts as an adamant stone, lest they should hear the law and the words which Yahweh of hosts hath sent in his spirit by the former prophets. Therefore came a great wrath from the Lord of hosts. I'm going to our people being, stubborn. It says, therefore it shall come to pass that as he cried, and they would not hear, so they cried, and I would not hear, saith Yahweh of hosts. So again, the Lord is crying right now, because why? He still have his men out on the highways and byways, giving you the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of these scriptures. Letting you know of all the things that's to come before they come, so that way you can get right with the Heavenly Father. But since the majority of our people, reject it, not want to hear it, and that day when they crying, trying to call upon the Lord, he's not going to hear them. This is Isaiah chapter 1 and 4. It says, a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupters. They have forsaken Yahweh. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel into anger. They are all gone away backward. It says, why should ye be stricken any more? Ye will revolt more and more. So again, there's really no need. And they keep trying to, correct our people. Because again, it's just going to push them to want to do more wickedness. Because they don't want, they hate taking order, being, giving order or construction or correction, salakia. So therefore, they're just going to keep doing wickedness. But yet the Lord said, whether they hear or forbear, we're supposed to go out there and still preach this gospel until, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushua himself take us from off of the streets. It says the whole head is sick and the whole heart faint. So, the whole head is sick. Why? Because they've been, drunken with this Christianity. So therefore, the whole head is sick. They've, all just gone away. Because they've been, force-fed all these different lies and philosophies that's all they know now. So that was pretty much it. Just wanted to just do a video just going into, the 2/3 of the nation of Israel and, why they have to be destroyed. So with that, Lord willing, I pray that video is edifying. And before I go, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Bakakwadash. Next, I'd like to give double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. We'd also like to give double honors to the elder high priest men that taught them. Peace, blessings, and salutation unto all the Icon that's pushing this gospel throughout the four corners of the earth with all sincerity and in truth. Shalom.